I guess it makes sense to start rounding some of these conversations around like you are the point guard, and there's more 6'3" to 5'9" basketball players than there is like the 6'4" and ups. So as a point guard, what does leadership actually look like? Like I think that's a tangible that's thrown out there often, and people like we want somebody that's a leader. Sometimes guards and players don't necessarily know what that looks like. Again, we are inside the pampered generation to where whether it's their parents advocating for them, it's a bunch of different things that's inside the way to where like they don't necessarily have to lead and or have been put in a space to lead until you get to high school, you get somewhere like that. As a point guard, what does leadership actually look like?
What Wayne said, like being uncomfortable and making uncomfortable comfortable.
I was just about to say that, another cut y'all, because being a leader is the most uncomfortable position ever, because you have to be the one, a voice of reasoning that no one wants to hear. It's the voice that were you just saying that because Coach said that? Nah, it's what we need. It's being selfless, because you're literally putting everyone else before you. Every day you're putting everyone else before you. You're having to, like you say, be the first one at practice, be the last one to leave. You're checking the temperature of everyone all the time. As a point guard, I remember it'd be times somebody might not even say nothing, but I know I see the body language like, okay, I gotta get bro a shot. And I come tapping the button. Don't worry about it. Next one coming to you, bro. Yeah. What I mean? It's those type of things. You got to keep everybody happy, even the prima donnas. Because the scorers think for themselves. They don't think for everybody else. God. But you want that big to rebound. You better give them a pick and roll. Get them a post up.
Give him,
give him the ball one or two times, even if he throw the ball over the rim. Now you say, "Hey, bro, I came to you.
Yep, good job.
I came to you. Now is what you gonna do with it?"
Yep. And that's a fact.
So and everything is not always leadership on the basketball court, and that's what kind of gets thrown behind. Put on the back burner. Like they say everybody think it's leadership on the court. Nah, it's what you do off the court. It's how you carry yourself. You know what I mean? It's what you doing. Are you in film study? Are you reading? Hey, how is your mental health? That's one thing I wish you would have said when you was talking about the daily day. You got to have that mental health moment as well. Like you have to take care of that part, because there's so much pressure that our kids are putting on themselves just based on what they see daily on social media.
Yeah,
correct. Even the parents. Like, talk to a parent today. She's like, I catch myself, hey, look at this, look at that, look at this, and their kid was like, I already know.
Yeah.
But it's like even the parents are getting caught up in it.
And now I'm glad you said that, because I had a conversation with a parent not too long ago, and I just said, yo, you know how you got a horse and you got tunnel vision? Instead of looking at the distractions of the world on social media, you got to focus on your personal journey with your kid only.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you focus solely on what your kid is, where they're at, and where you're trying to get them to go, it'll negate all these other extra distractions around you. You won't get caught up in these rankings that people are publicizing in middle school, because a lot of people in the middle school sector, they looking for these rankings to validate their kid.
Yeah.
It's all about validation.
It is.
I just want you to say my kid nice. And if he gets that, then my kid is having an awesome day.
Right.
But my kid day ain't good if I don't go on here and see my kid is in the top 15.
Right.
So my thing is, parents, just be realistic about the expectation. The expectation should be free school. If at the end of the day you're focusing on that,
free education,
none of that other stuff before that matters. It wouldn't even be a distraction. My son now 3, and now from the things and the experiences that I've had, and I learned, Dijuan, you wasn't ranked. You didn't get no notoriety. You earned everything. You knew that you had to be the toughest, grittiest, nastiest kid on the floor every night. You didn't get an option to have a night.
Make no new friends.
No new friends. You didn't get a night to not be sensational.
Nah.
You're small. That kid that's 6'4" gets the option to have an off night because he's still at 6'4". The next morning he wake up.
Yeah.
You're going to be 5'9", my G.
Yeah.
As soon as you wake up in the morning, you don't get no leeway to have a night off.
So it starts over again the next day.
Over again. So for me, understanding that, I know my son is going to be small. I have to have the ability to put in him those same intangibles so he's able to survive. And then he got to do the rest.
And you leaving out that you lightning quick too.
Yeah. And he has to do the rest.
Yeah, you athletic.
To go back to his point about the leadership thing, I think a lot of kids are scared because I have to be accountable for me.
Yeah.
I have to be first in the runs. I have to show up early. I have to leave late.
That's the uncomfortableness. You got to do
I have to be that coach on the floor that's not scared to say, bro, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be there. Get your ass over there.
Yeah.
And to that kid, that might be a 5-star. And I don't know if I got the ability or if I'm comfortable in myself enough to say, what you doing, bro? Right. Get your ass over there. Right. Because I'm still low key in this world a fan. Yeah. Because of social media, and I see what social media did to him. Yeah. So I don't know if I even had a voice to even say what I need to say. Yeah. Especially when the coach don't say nothing. You want me to say something?
Yeah.
But
he tell the coach to shut up.
The thing is that you notice is that like the person that will say that is the person that garners the most respect from that kid.
Yeah.
Like the yes man, the person that allows them to do whatever. Like they cool and they're happy that they do it. That's not the person they listen to.
Right.
You can listen to me, but not listen to the coach though.
Yeah.
So you might listen to some things I say, but you respect me as a hooper. Mm-hmm. But for the leadership part, bruh, I can go over your head and tell coach to shut up and do what I want to do with him. So how much can I lead him when he really, after a while, he might pull the plug on me and be like, bro, get him out.
Yeah.
Get him out of here.
Yeah.
Get him up out of here, bro. Ain't nobody listening to that.
Yeah.
Well, that's why being the leader is very unattractive. It's very unattractive. I mean, like you say, you the ugly girl sitting in the corner. You ain't the bad girl walking in, the Cinderella ball. You that like Dre say, those who sit off in the corner. You know what I mean?
To y'all coaches. So why aren't the best players leaders?
The accountability piece. I think it depends where they at.
My bad. Let's make sure we get that inside like a very clip.
That's a really good question. Yeah. I want to know personally, why aren't the best players on your team leaders? Especially if you have a not so vocal point guard who understands what leadership really is. Because I see a lot of that like coaching now and then watching it, and I'm like, well, darn, the point guard don't really say nothing. I see a lot more new point guards than I do talkative ones.
How many? Let me see how I can frame this. Do you think that most, and you almost put it at like the idea of like the small forward, the shooting guard-ish type player, right? In which a lot of times we do look at the point guard as being the leader because of he's the person that's had to kind of work for it a little bit more. Mm-hmm. It's harder. Could a part of the answer be the fact that a lot of these kids that you're talking about, like the best player on the team, they were gifted to it and not had to work for it as much. And sometimes that could be inside a different variety. Like it's not necessarily just like you were gifted because you didn't deserve it, but you could be gifted.
Your dad made a way, or anybody made a way.
It could be like you pick up handling and shooting really well, quick. It was easy to you. So you didn't necessarily have to like go through the trenches of like somebody that got 2 left feet. And they actually became
or they don't have good hand-eye coordination.
Right. I don't want to drop names. North Mech last year had a bona fide leader to me.
Okay.
That was their best player, even though he was a leader too. Player.
He wasn't the point guard. But he was a bona fide leader. Every night, y'all knew what
he was selfless too. Know
what time it was.
Selfless.
He was selfless.
You know what I'm saying? And I led where y'all seen me lead. You seen the energy I was gonna bring. I wasn't shying away from no big moment. Y'all jump on my back. I'm with whatever. If I lose, I'm going down. Y'all, I'm taking all raps
energy with you from the start
to finish. Now,
Yeah.
This year, it's a different kid. It is the point guard this year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he had to, I believe, mature into that position.
Yeah.
Last year, he saw it. This year, he was able to mature into that position.
Normally, like you say, we just traditionally have always just concluded that the point guard is your leader.
Yep.
You know, we've all kind of concluded that to just a stint of being in the game that we grew up watching and grew up playing. Yeah. You know, all the point guards we knew, the kids, the Mark Jacksons, the John Stocktons, you know what I mean? Even the Gary Paytons, like they commanded respect, right? You know, to where we look back, like I said, those were the players I looked up to that I wanted to be like, that I tried to mold myself as a leader behind. You know, I think right now, the generation doesn't look at players as far as leaders. And I feel like coaches, us in general, we have just kind of just nominated the best player as a leader, as a captain in a sense like that. You know what I mean? To where we just give them that title to make it easy.
Yep.
But when it's really a situation where sometimes the best player shouldn't be a captain or the leader. Correct. You know what I mean? It's okay.
Yeah.
Because like I say, it's a very unattractive role to have. And a lot of times your top scorer doesn't want to look unattractive.
And like you said, the piggyback of what you're saying, the leader 9 times out of 10 ain't the star. It's the Grant Williams. It's the player that cares about everybody, cares about the team, cares about the program. Not saying the stars don't, but you know, they're in that role for a reason. Yeah.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And like we talk about who they are as a person, their personality, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
And that's what you know from an earlier standpoint, because if you see it, a lot of leaders that are leading now, they've been leading for a long time. And you just like I walked in the gym yesterday at middle school girls game, and I heard the girl before I seen her. Meaning that she, hey, get back, slide here. Hey, pick up. I got 5, you get 2. I was like, damn, who's that?
Right. She talking like it.
Talking like I don't know what. And it was like, now I identify where the voice came from. Now this is my favorite player for the rest of the game. I think they may have scored maybe 6 points, but it was everything else they did to help their team win. Like I was telling the girl there after the game, I said, now she used to push her. She missed like 30 layups though, but she talked all game. She had everybody in the right position. Defense being called in here. Hey, slide back. Yo, we in this, we in that. Pick up here. It's like, yo, I love that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about an 8th grader come in next year on the varsity program and be the best leader on the team.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
But those are players that are molded that way.
Correct.
You know, you can't train to be a leader, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It got to be something.
I can't get in the gym and you know what, we can't get them in the gym and be like, yo, okay, we're gonna train this party, but nah, that's just something that's just in you. And you're not on you. And, you know, it takes a big person to be there. So to get back to the point, I think that's why we see a lot of times to where sometimes the best player is not the leader on the team, because it's not in their makeup, not in their genetics to do that.
And I got a question I got 2 questions for the couch. Because now that we are on leadership. So with that being said, I always be curious to get information. You know what I'm saying? How much team success can you have without leadership?
You want me to take it, or you want to take it?
You start off with it, bro, because you rarely get to answer questions. I want to hear you got dang on.
Here you
speak
go.
your piece, my boy.
On the podium, I'm asking questions.
Yeah, he the panel host. He don't want to be answering. Now you got to answer this one right here.
All right, you said how?
How much team success can you have without leadership?
All right, so I guess I can answer it a couple ways. There's a way where you can have a lot and a little. A way that you can have a lot is if I almost call these like the narrator coaches, to where they narrate every possession on offense and defense. Swing, dive, gap, XYZ. And again, like there's a part where one could argue that takes the autonomy of leadership away from the point guard. And if you grew up through that coach, you never had to actually. He's calling out diamond when he's making all the communications that a point guard is supposed to do at the free throw line. He's doing all those things to where if you have like a narrator coach, that calls and does everything, it's not necessarily as important to have a leader.
Yeah.
I think the spectrum, as soon as you get away from having a good narrator coach, and we have some great narrator coaches in the city.
Yeah.
And they've won at the highest level. But those are like far in between. Those are more rare.
You're gonna have to drop some names on that narrating coaching in high school that won a lot.
Well,
I need a couple names.
I ain't gonna say
to prove that.
I ain't gonna say high school. I know EYBL I've seen.
Okay.
For sure. And
name. I need a name.
I could throw some, but right now I don't know how a person might take the term narrator coach.
It's not a bad term.
It's not a bad term.
No,
I just
overmanage.
There's been people that have been very successful, but the critique is that, hey, my kid might not have the freedom that I want them to have.
That goes into my next question. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna wait for you to finish this.
Yeah.
And if you finish, then I'm gonna say, so how is the kid honestly learning if you're narrating every possession?
Oh, listen, I'm not like a big proponent of the narrator coach. I think that you should probably stop that closer to like
7th grade.
Yeah, like 6, 7, like somewhere middle schoolish. Because of it then bleeds into what you was just asking about, like the leadership part. And I think that again, like those coaches, they're far in between. But what's actually usually what you see is like a team with the coach and that needs a really heady point guard or a really heady leader in general. Somebody that can diagnose, all right, hey, I just heard the coach call out that they about to press. Hey, guys, make sure we hear. Hey, big, get your ass in the middle.
Yeah.
Like you got, like, get there. They in the 22, you know where you need to be at. Sometimes we love our bigs, but they gonna run to that box over there.
They are.
All the way. And sometimes that guard got to yell and tell them. And like sometimes you need that guard or that player to be able to do that, to be able to recognize and see where maybe, unfortunately, sometimes the coach's shortcomings might be or the other players' shortcomings might be the adjustments that's happening in real time. And I think that if you're not one of those first, your ceiling for success is low.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That'd be my answer. Wayne, you got to answer this now.
So, like, I feel like, okay, so, and we're saying, can a team without a pure leader
have team success?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at an example that they don't have a leader, and that's why I feel like their season is like this. Like they beat really good teams, but then you'll see them lose to teams that
it don't make sense.
It don't even make sense.
Yeah, and I feel like, it's kind of hard to have success. Like you're going to win games based off talent at times, but to have ultimate, what we call success, you have to have some form of a leader. It may not be a full leader, but you got to have some form of a leader or leaders.
Yeah, because it can be
that the team respects, and they're able to command the best out of their teammates, their brothers or their sisters. You know what I mean?
If I make a quick amendment to go to what you were saying, even with like quote unquote the narrator coach, your best players have to buy into what he's saying.
Yeah,
and that's his own version of leadership as well. To where like if the top 3 people run through a wall for whatever the coach is saying, everybody else has no choice.
Yeah,
but yeah,
and I feel like that's where I think that great area kind of lies, where you can not have the full leader, but you have leaders that are just commanding the respect and being a caveat to the coach, you know what I mean? Being the second voice to that coach and everything, and, being able to kind of run things themselves. I know for me, I always start about, even with training and coaching, I tried to mold my players at the time, even being young, was like, what do you see? Mm-hmm. To start making them build their IQ and build their own leadership up in their own way. Same way one may lead, the other one may not lead, but it's like to where they get to a point to where now these are the same kids that coaches are being like, they have a very high IQ for the game, very good feel, very good teammates. You know what I mean? I think that's something that can be very prideful when you got when you're telling a kid or you're looking at and critiquing a kid and you're calling that kid a very good teammate. And I feel like when you got great teammates and that who also can lead or be leaders in moments, that's when you find success. But when you have the lack of leadership across the board, you have a lot of me moments. Mm-hmm. A lot of me moments form into a lot of bad us moments. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that comes from the lack of leadership. So to your point, I feel like you can win, but to have success, you have to have some form of leadership.
And do you think the leadership, how can I pose this question? From a team success rate, right? They don't have leadership, but does that leadership fall primarily on the head coach? Because I feel like it's easier for players to lead if I can follow my head coach in leading. But if I'm a star player and I have no respect for my head coach.
Now, I feel like the answer to that is two different ways. Because now it could be a situation where a star player just feels like they don't need to respect the coach.
So should you get him out of there?
That goes back to trade point.
Get him out of there. Bang, that's thing.
You know what I'm saying? Full circle on that one.
Full circle.
But to say that is like what I've seen kind of witnessed throughout the game over years is that lack of respect. You know, one thing we always had growing up was the respect of an adult, an elder. You know, you respect your elders, respect your adults, be it the good or the bad. Yeah. You know, I feel like with now the generation has changed to, I ain't respecting him unless he respect me, or, you know, that type of mindset, or man, I don't like him, so I'm not going to respect, or I don't like her, I'm not going to respect her. So I feel like the times has changed as far as that, just total respect for an adult or an elder figure in that role, versus now it's like, man, fuck that nigga. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's sad to say, but you know, the game has allowed for that to happen.
Correct.
The way we've kind of skipped steps, allow kids to skip steps to where we put ourselves in a position to where now I got to deal with a daggone kid that don't even fuck with me because he feel like he the best thing since sliced bread.
Yep, you're right.
So to your point is, I think there's two caveats to that. You know, it's just the kid that doesn't have the respect in them to respect someone else older. There's also that thing of a coach not earning the respect as well.
Right.
You know, agree. So you get a twofold with that. And, you know, crazy part about it is we can see the lines of the difference. From the outside looking in, they don't. So they feel like a coach has just lost everyone for whatever reason it may be, where it may be like, I just really got a badass apple that just want to be a bad apple.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Versus, that coach ain't, you know, that coach did something bad by the kid, you know what I mean? Or didn't do right by kids. So it opens up that mindset to where they are not being respected by their peers or by their players like they should be. So then you get in a position to where, like, yeah, you're going to fail.